Now, today we are judging the APPA portrait category, and we've just started before the break into the open section. Now, before we begin, let me introduce myself. I'm David Patterson, and I'll be your panel chair for this session. But before I introduce the judges, I would like to introduce Robert Gatto from KL, who would like to say a few words. Robert.
Thanks, David. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Robert Gatto from KL Australia. We're a proud supporter of APPA and the APPAs and have been for a long time. We're here with our partners Canson, who are associated with the Canson Weekend Away that we do with APPA the last 6 years running. So we're really excited to be able to take 6 people away to Queenstown. So we're hoping that those of you that have chosen to print on Canson paper can join us. Or at least you were lucky enough for me to draw you out of a hat and come with us. We've got some people in the room that have been with us away on some, so it's a great weekend away. So thanks for everybody who enters the APPAs and contributes. I think it's a great opportunity to see where you are and get benched. So thanks a lot, and hand back to Dave.
And thank you very much, Robert, for those words. It's very much appreciated. And in fact, on behalf of the AIPP, I'd like to say thank you for your continued support for the AIPP and for APPA. Now, I'd also like to acknowledge and say thanks to Olympus, Aon and Panasonic as our platinum sponsors for APPA. Your support of this event is very much appreciated, and we would like you all to get out there and support our major sponsors. And we have a score of 79. So this print will go for review. No one is in a position to challenge. Adam, you're on 78. Would you like a quick comment, please?
Yeah, look, I love the concept of the image. I just think the post-processing is a little bit sort of heavy-handed for my taste.
And thank you. Okay, let's have the next print, please. Quite often you might trip the power box and you just got to reset it. And we have a score of 81, a silver award. Oh, I'd like to see that hand thrown into the air like that. Thank you very much, Shireen. We have a challenge on 86.
When I look at an image like this, I'm looking for, if it's going to be something that's spectacular like this, to me, it needs to have every component there. That follows through to the expression, the movement, the way that it's been retouched, obviously, the flow. There is something so wonderful about this particular image that just speaks to me, I guess. And it's, for me, it's all there. All those bits and pieces are there, and I just think that the author definitely ought to be rewarded with a silver distinction. It's beautifully printed, it's beautifully handled. I'd like to hear from our other judges.
Thank you. We may go to Mr. Poole. All our judges are in the silver range, except for yourself.
Yeah, I see that. I see that. I'm 76. I found the pose forced, the figure ungainly. It's nothing new that I haven't seen before. I found it a good example of professional practice. I could concede that a very, very low silver is within my ambit, but I certainly couldn't see a silver distinction in it.
Any other judges like to comment? You're all in the low 80s. Okay, well, we'll go back to Shireen to bring it home.
Okay. Well, we're talking about professionalism. For me, this is above that professionalism. It certainly goes into professional excellence, superior visual communication, imagination, craft and skill. There's been a lot of work that's gone into this particular image that I can see, and the only thing that was stopping me from going even higher was that I feel that there's the highlight on her lower arm is just too bright for me on that the bottom right arm. But you know, we're asking everyone to give us more. The flow that you were talking about, Ian, you know, you saying it's sort of a bit of a static pose. I find that there's a freedom in it that I'm really enjoying, and the expression just follows through as well. For me, it ticks all the boxes. So I'd really like you to come up into silver distinction, guys, and yeah, with me. Thank you.
Thank you, Shireen. We have a score of 81 at this stage. Please rescore. The printer's moved. It's gone up to 82. Silver award. Thank you. Next print, please. That was the one. Peter, and the printer scored 84, silver award. All the judges in the 80s. Well done. Could we have a comment, please? Anyone like to volunteer before I name you? No. Thank you, Mr. Poole.
Look, I enjoyed this image. I suspect both the subject and the photographer are having a little lend of us. It took me a few moments to get that. Once I did, I was very comfortable with it. I scored at 88. Could I change it to make it better? Possibly no, but a great image. Congratulations.
Thank you, Ian. We'll have our next print, please. I got these multifocals, which is the second pair I've had. The first pair I just couldn't handle. And that was 5 years ago. So, well, I think, they've got better over the last few years. In fact, I got these in Vietnam. I got a pair of these and sunglasses, $140 each. Frames, prescription, everything. And they've been perfect. Absolutely perfect. And we have a score of 83, a silver award. I'll accept that score and a comment from Shireen.
I would have loved to have gone really much higher on this, but actually it was the pose of the lady falling in the water. To me, when you fall in the water, your legs are up, your belly's curved the opposite way to the way that it's curved, and that you kind of fall and release, whereas I feel that the pose was perhaps the wrong way round. So maybe just have a think about that and a look at that.
Great, thank you very much. Okay, let's have the next print, please. And the print scores 80, a silver award. Let's have a comment from Vicky.
I'm really enjoying the narrative of it and the whole concept behind the cage and being kind of caged in. My only concern was that I wasn't quite understanding the gap of birds in the top left, but otherwise, a really intriguing and well rendered print.
Great, thank you. Next print, please. And we have a score of 86, silver with distinction. And I see a hand in the air from our gold judge, Shireen. Would you like to challenge this, please, and have a chat?
Yeah, look, my heart started beating fast when this turned around. it's the unspoken story of it. You know, the printing of this. If you want to just talk about the technical stuff, the printing's absolutely divine. The pose is so simple, so amazing. The way that it's been put just off center, and you know, you could have chosen a different crop. Some people may say put a frame within a frame and put that gentleman in the center of the image. I don't think that would have been right. I think exactly where the authors put this is perfect. And when you go up and look at it, it doesn't let you down. It's one of those images that will remain in my mind tomorrow and the next day and the day after that. And for me, a gold image has to do that. It has to affect me, and it has to be something that I won't forget. And I think this image has been handled beautifully. Just the detail, even in the pants, everything, the expression, everything. I think it really needs a second look, guys, and I think I'd really love you to come up into that gold range.
Okay, well, we're going to have a comment from Squire Poole. You have two other judges in the silver distinction range.
Right. I gave it 83 for a shot that's been a studio shot, and with all of the control opportunities that you have in the studio, why the heck would you come so close to chopping the feet off? Shireen, you're right. I agree with the fact that it's a lovely interpretation of this man, and equally I enjoyed it, and equally, had it been better framed, better controlled, I probably would have come close to gold. At the moment, I'm struggling to justify giving it a silver. I see it just as good professional practice.
Okay, if there's any other comments, Vic, you have something new to add? Okay, thank you.
I'm starting to feel for Shireen. Obviously, this is the story of being involved in a concentration camp. The story of my life. This is the performance of my life. This is the this is my show. This is what I've lived through. This is where I am. This is how I've survived. And I'm almost taking a bow towards the end of my life. It's a very powerful image. It's I wasn't sure, but I think I'm coming up.
Okay, I'll go back to Shireen if there's no other comments. Thank you.
Vic, what you said is you nailed it on the head. As we know, because the storytelling is so clear and the visual communication is so clear on this particular image, this guy's been in a concentration camp. I have absolutely no problem with the cropping in, with all due respect, because it is uncomfortable. It's not right. Nor was his life, nor was what he went through. This man has probably suffered in some ways, obviously. You can see from the tattoo on his arm clearly where he's been. And the cropping is, for me, absolutely perfect on this particular piece. So, judges, I'd really love you to come into that gold range. This is an image that deserves it.
Thank you, Shireen. And all our judges for those comments, could we please rescore? We have, by majority, 90, Gold Award. Great discussion. Okay, deep breath, and the next print, please. Fast game's a good game, Adam. Okay, we have a score of 85, silver with distinction. Let's have a comment. Adam, thank you.
Yeah, I really love the communication in this and the message, sort of, genetic engineering or genetic, IVF versus nature, and there's some really great sort of stories being told here. And so the reward the photographer for presenting it to us in such a way.
Thank you, Adam. Very much appreciated. Okay, let's have the next print, please. We have 84 by a majority. Silver award. So it scored 85, but by majority went down to 84, but it will go for review, and so it has a second chance. And we will take a comment from Adam. Thank you.
I wanted to love it as much as a couple of my fellow judges, but I found that mirroring in the centre of the vines coming down to kind of be overpowering in the image. So if you do look at that, I think it could improve it.
Thank you. Next print. And the print scores 78. And we'll call on a comment. Katie, you're on 78?
Yes, the striking and brave composition. I really enjoy that about it. The face is a little soft whilst the hat is quite sharp, and I think just those small technical details do make a lot of difference when it comes to award.
Great, thank you. Okay, we'll have the next print, please. Next print, please. I believe there's a bit of a problem with the matting. Okay, so just bear with it when it comes around. One moment. Whenever you're ready, that's right. And the printer scored 78. We do have a challenge. We have several challenges, but I will take Adam on 84, the highest. Thank you, Adam.
Yeah, what a great sort of take on Shakespeare versus modern culture. You've got the Crystal Skull vodka and an iPhone. The sort of what a young person today would be very much interested in, as compared to, Shakespeare in that time. I love the theatre sort of style lighting, kind of giving a reference point to the playwright and so forth. I'm on silver. It's great communication. 84.
Thank you. Katie.
Yeah, look, for me, the narrative was quite unclear, so thank you for explaining that. I do see what you're saying now, so I'll reconsider and I'm listening.
Thank you. And will we have a comment from Vic?
Essentially, I'm agreeing with Adam, reiterating, but it is the contrast of it's obviously a period photo, and it's the contrast of yesterday versus today, and to me, it's very playwright type.
Great, thank you. No other comments. I'll go back to Shireen. Did you? Okay, Adam, please.
Yeah, this is Shakespeare for the modern era. I'm on silver. Great communication. 84.
Thank you. Let's have a rescore. And we have a score of 82, silver award. And we will call for the next print and have a judge's change. Thank you. And we have a score of 79 by majority. And no one's in a position to challenge, so we will have a comment, but this print will go for review. Okay, let's have a comment from Peter.
I just want to compliment the photographer in the simplicity of this and yet the strength of it. It's all about the fantastic expression they've caught, and somehow they've brought that out in this girl and captured it, and it's there for us all to enjoy.
Great, thank you. Next print. Ian needed a break. Yeah, so I put you on early. Which means I'll put Vic back on before Mel Watt comes on. Okay, so we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so 5 at least. There's a Liam Carroll, that's a different Carroll. And we have a score of 81, a silver award. Thank you, Katie. I see that hand. We're having a challenge.
I find this really unique and different. Its treatment is perhaps a little surprising at first. I wasn't quite sure. The more I looked at it, the more I enjoyed it. The composition is very bold and brave. It's not your typical dancer image at all. I'm really enjoying the texture, the subtlety of it, beautiful whites and blacks in there despite it being quite flat. And I think that elevates it a little beyond a silver for me. So,
Thank you, Katie. Adam?
Yeah, I don't disagree with Katie's assessment. I really struggled with the shadow, though. It just felt unrealistic in terms of the lighting on her, and then to have such a sharp shadow so far from the dancer. Although I will admit, having the shadow gives you a sense of distance, of height, and so forth, which is great. But yeah, I just couldn't resolve that. But if someone can tell me why, then I can move myself up. I'm in 76.
Okay. I think the other judges are prepared to listen, so we'll come back to you, Kate, for a right of reply.
Okay. I hadn't seen that as an issue because I guess there's a sense of something that is a little unreal about this image because it's not what we would normally see. It doesn't look like a typical studio shot. It doesn't look like it's been created, from a performance. It looks like it's trying to convey something a little extra, something more illustrative, something more ethereal. And so I think that height might be a little unrealistic, but I don't really think that matters. I think it just adds to the illustrative nature of the image, which, I'm really enjoying. And I think that hopefully that offers a little bit of explanation where you could maybe just let go of the sense that it has to be, it has to make sense or it has to be real, because I don't think it does.
Okay, thank you. Currently, the Prince on 81. Let's have a rescore. And it has gone up to 82. Silver award. One very short one, please, Peter.
Very short. To use the shadow just an idea of, had the shadow maybe been a little more bird-like or butterfly-like, or especially suggestive of her flight, wow, that would have taken me further.
Excellent comments. Thank you for that. Let's have the next print, please. And we have a score of 81, a silver award. Vicky, Shireen, you've got your hand up.
The print is absolutely beautifully crafted, so that's what really elevated me, and obviously her attitude and the beautiful styling, so well done.
Great, thank you. Let's have the next print, please. And we have a score by majority, 80, silver award. Let's have a comment from Katie, please.
I think this is a very unique image that's obviously telling us quite a strong story. What I'm finding difficult with it and should really be looked at is the lighting on the hands on the left. I think the hands are going to be obvious and seen no matter how they're lit, but they just seem very bright, and it's a bit at odds with the rest of the image. So maybe just have a look at that.
Thank you, Katie. And let's go to the next print. And the print scores 84 by a majority. Silver award. I see the apprehension in those claps means you all know we're going to have a challenge.
Let's get
Please,
it.
Vicky.
Wow, what incredible impact. I've never seen anything like this, and I'm just so seduced by it. I just want to sit with it for more than the minute that we've got. I need to sit with it for like minutes and minutes and minutes more, because it's just incredibly immaculate. Like coming back to the bride alone, like it's just such delicacy in the way the handling of the tones and the whites. It's absolute magic. Just the beautiful story, the love letters, the letting go of the bird, and just the connection. It's it's worldly. I've never seen anything like it. Have another look. Just go in there, be seduced by the images like the way that I have. It is incredible. So let's bring it up. This is about connection. This is about the beautiful circular love, the delicacy of it. So please bring it up. Bring it up to gold. Bring it up to gold.
Okay, well, I will get Shireen to have a chat about it, but while she's looking at it, now you stay there and have a look. And perhaps Peter?
Yes, I'm really enjoying the design, but it is so hard for me to look at the groom or the male figure in the top that I can't get my head around it. I think it needs to be on a ceiling above the wedding bed so they can look up and enjoy it, and there be equality about the two of them. But it seems to be and you may say, yes, well, the woman usually takes the event, but to me it's that is holding me way back. Maybe if it was possibly on a diagonal and I could look at the man easier, I just can't get into him, can't get anything from him.
Thank you, Peter. Adam, while we're waiting, please.
Yeah, look, as it turned around, I immediately wanted to love it. I loved the design of it, and it was intriguing. The lighting on the bride is fabulous. Like that dress has been so well resolved. But like Peter, I really struggle, one, to kind of isolate the groom and get much out of him. But I also find it, when you do get there, I find his pose to be not quite as strong as I'd want it to be in gold. There's elements there that I want to love, but don't quite work as well as I want them to. I'm on 83 and in listening, and we'll probably come up from there, but you're going to need a little bit more resolution to get me into gold.
Okay, look, what we might do, I think, was we'll go to Katie on 87, then Shireen on 80, and then we'll come back to you, Vicky.
I feel really comfortable in the silver distinction range, and I think some of the things that have already been addressed are the reasons. I feel like the white that's been brought out in the bottom part where the bride is, it's very white and it's beautiful and it really draws your attention, but there's no white on the groom, and it's not even pure black either, and I feel like the bride has all the attention. Perhaps it's for a reason and we're missing that reason. I don't think the narrative is 100% clear, but where I rewarded it was for all the other things that Vicky had said about how exquisite the actual technique and treatment is and how beautiful it is to look at. And I haven't seen anything like this before, and I really do want to reward it, but just those small things I'm finding quite confusing. So Vicky, could you have a go at maybe trying to explain or I'd like to understand it a little better.
Okay, we'll go to Shireen first, then back to you, Vicky, if you're right to reply.
So look, I was really torn with the story for a start, and that's why I gave it an 80, because I wanted to reward the author for giving us something completely different. I really want to celebrate that, but can I tell you what's let me down, Vicky? To be really honest, look at the bride's expression and look at the groom's expression, and if this is about romance and love letters, as you said, then the expression's just not there. It's just really let me down. Not being able to see the groom, for me, really clearly, I kind of agree with what you've said. I'm actually happy to come up to reward the author into that silver distinction range. Gold, I'm going to find it really hard.
All good. Thank you for all your comments. As I said, I think we need to elevate the score because of the immaculate concept, just the impact of it. I think it's, beautifully handled. The story's there. It's this beautiful kind of circular poetry of love letters going from, this sort of topsy-turvy world that we live in. She's brighter because she's a spotlight. it's always about the bride. So let's bring the score up and let's celebrate and reward the author.
Thank you, judges, for those comments. Let's rescore. We currently have 84 by majority. No longer. We have a silver with distinction at 87. Thank you, judges. And next print, please. No, it's only and the print scores 82, a silver award. Can we have a comment, please? Who's on the average there? Vicky, we love to hear your voice.
You sick of me yet?
Not at all.
Very magnetic, just for such an engaging image. Probably, for me, just a little bit soft on the shoulder, just following through to her eyes. Maybe, address that next time.
Great, thank you. Let's have the next print, please. Oh, yeah, it was. And the print scores 82, silver award. One moment. We will take Mr. Poole's challenge on 88. Thank you very much. Ian, if you'd like to.
Look, what a celebration of a real female body. We see so many perfect female bodies, and we suddenly get presented with a real one, a genuine female body. I love the way the head crops through the top right-hand corner. I love the sweep down of the bum and the arm going out on the right-hand side. I enjoy that little bit of space behind, but I constantly come back to the maligned body, the stomach, the waist, probably childbirth, I'm guessing. I'll leave it up to you ladies to fill me in on the gory details, but it's a real body treated so delicately and so kindly. 88.
Okay, Vicky, you're at the other end of the scale.
I guess I struggle with the cropping, and I don't know, my interpretation. I mean, it doesn't matter whether it's a man or a female, but I didn't have more to engage me other than the curiosity of the stretch marks, and I had nowhere else to go with that. I found the cropping really uncomfortable.
Okay, thank you. Adam, you're an 84.
Yeah, look, I saw it as a male figure, but that doesn't matter. It's a tortured body through whatever transition it's gone through, from large to small or whatever it happens to be. I struggled with I didn't feel the background detail was necessary, which is where I'm on an 84. But
I feel it is a great celebration of realness, whatever that realness is. So I'm listening to Ian's comments and my fellow judges as well. I think it does need to be rewarded, certainly.
Ian, your right of reply.
I'll step away from ascribing a gender to this body. I am enjoying the... Vicky, you've picked it up absolutely. That is an aggressive crop, and it's meant to be, and it's meant to judder and jar you. And the reaction that you have given to me just publicly would indicate it's worth another 5 or 8 points from you. It's got you've given a reaction, and photography that creates a reaction in the viewer is strong and powerful photography. I believe this is a good example, an 88 example.
Great, thank you very much. Okay, judges, we're going to have a rescore, please. And we have a score of 84, silver award. Let's have a round of applause, plus it'll go for review. So thank you very much. Now, we just hold that print for a moment. Ian, I'm just going to bring Peter back on. But Ian, I'll get you just go up 2 seats temporarily. Vic, I was bringing Peter back on. Peter was, sorry. No. And I'll give you just a moment to get settled. That's the way. Okay. Let's have the next print, please. And we have a score of 78. Thank you. And we're going to have a comment from Katie on 78.
I can see where the author's going with this, and I think it's worth exploring a bit more. I just don't find it believable enough. And maybe there's just too much of a disconnect between the subject and the background story.
And we have a score of 79, which will go for review. And we're going to call a comment on who's close to the average here. Shireen, 78?
Yeah, I think it's approaching award level and is, really good professional practice. It's what we should be able to do every day.
Great, thank you. Okay, we'll welcome Adam back on. Mr. Poole just was temporarily filling in there. And we will call for the next print. That's right. I'm pretty sure it won't go to the next one because it has got a score. Yeah, I know. And we have a score of 79. Again, we'll go for review and a comment from Adam, please.
I enjoy the elements of the image, but I just find the pose to be just not right at all. It doesn't feel regal and it doesn't feel strong. It's neither here nor there. So look at that.
Thank you for that, Adam. We're just going to do a quick judges change and call for the next print, please. Welcome back, Vic. Did I hit it hard enough? Maybe not. Try again. Yeah. And we have a score of 86, a silver with distinction. Four of our judges, all in the silver distinction range. Fantastic. And who's on 86? Vic.
It's just it's an exquisite print. It's beautiful. I like seeing both sides of the faces like that. It's obviously telling a very deep story about the authenticity of the person. Beautifully lit. I wish I could have found even something more in it because it's that nice.
Great, thank you. Let's have the next print, please. And we have a score of 76. So thank you, judges. No one can challenge upwards. So a comment from Adam, please.
Yeah, I would look at the cropping as sort of just being a bit too tight on the bottom and the left-hand side, and the pose just doesn't feel right. Like, I don't think you'd ever hold a welder like that. So just relating to your subject a little more.
Great, thank you. Next print. And the print scores by majority 79. Very tight scoring there, judges. It will go for review. And we'll have a comment from Shireen on 79.
I think for me, to get it over the line into that award range, I needed a bit more of a story to understand what was going on here. Just more of a story would have been wonderful.
Okay, thank you. Let's have the next print, please. And we have a score of 80, a silver award. And we're going to have a comment from Shireen. Thank you.
I'd really like to put this out there. I feel that photographers are going to great lengths to give us beautiful, stunning images, hard work. You can see so much effort put into it. But if the posing and the expressions let you down on the models, then just push them harder and direct them better to just get more out of them. What let me down in this particular image was just it's sort of almost a blank stare. I need more. Please give us more.
Great, thank you very much. Let's have the next print. And we have a score of 84, silver award. And again, this will go for review. And Adam, if you could make a comment, please.
Yeah, I'd like to just compliment the author on producing a really well-detailed, highly innovative dance image. This is well constructed. If I was to improve it, I'm not completely sold on the background out of focus elements. They're too perfectly sort of spaced, and it just feels a little bit uneasy. But yeah, really well done though.
Great, thank you very much. Okay, welcome back onto the panel, Ian Poole, and we will have our next print, please. Speed it up. 5 minutes. Four. That's a fair. Well, that's an hour. We'll try to speed it up. And we have a score of 75. So thank you, judges. And a comment, please. Vic, you're on 76.
Yep, I think it's there's a couple of things that potentially could be improved. The cigarette not being lit, and also the light, the spillage of light, and also the tight crop.
Okay, thank you. Next print, please. Yep, if you grab Vic. Okay, we have a score of 82, a silver award. Round of applause. And a comment, please, from Adam. Quick comment.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this image. I still don't know who came first, but I wonder whether a singular image in a series in this competition would be stronger. I think I think the last image is fantastic, and I think that by itself would potentially score higher.
Now I know why you're so keen to comment. He's just a very naughty boy. Okay, next print, please. And we have a score of 76. Thank you, judges. And a comment, please. Ian?
Look, a nice professional image, and the type of image that you should make an awful amount of money on commercially. But it's just, I really wanted to like it. I saw it in the walkthrough and I remembered it. So there's obviously something there that caught my eye, but on closer interrogation, the lighting's very flat. It's very, very commercial studio lighting, and I think it needs to be pushed a bit harder to get to award standard.
Okay, a bit more drama. Great, thank you very much. Let's have the next print, please. And we have a score of 84 by majority. Now, as I was expecting, thank you very much, Mr. Poole. On 97, we have a challenge.
Okay, I'm making an assumption it's a black cockatoo. But it's the resolved detail that excites me. If you carefully look at the feathers in the crown, they're slipping out of frame, that circular decorative frame that goes around the full circumference of the circle. The elements that the photographer has used in this have been so well crafted and controlled, but your eye comes back at all times to the eye of the bird, and I'm enjoying the lighting and the detail on the feathers, albeit it's very dark and you've got to look at it with great care. I think it's a powerful piece of communication. I believe we need to talk about it on the panel here.
Okay, Vic, you're at the other end of the scale on 82.
And of course, Ian has already, brought to my attention many things that I overlooked. So the black is... that's black. Everything's black, but it's not black. There's about 30 different tones of black in there. So of course I'm going to review my score.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I will get Adam to talk, and I want Katie to talk as well.
Yeah, look, I saw what Ian saw in the image, and whilst I do it, I enjoy the exercise in black. Such a happy colour. I don't get much more communication other than it being a really strong portrait of a bird. I like the device that's been used that replicates the eye around the outside. I like the circular, that sort of repeating circular nature of it. I think that's reflective of a silver something rather than a gold something, but I am listening.
Okay, Katie.
Okay, I've given this the silver distinction. I'm willing to come up, I think. I want to talk about it a bit more. I see it like the cockatoo's almost got human qualities, like a pirate or a captain of a ship or something. It's just the way that he or she is placed. It's a human pose almost, and perhaps you could see the circular motif around the outside as, the window on the ship, whatever they're called. The porthole, thank you. I really love the use of black, like it's already been pointed out. It's incredibly difficult to print and treat. I'm not 100% convinced that it's been treated as well as it should be for a gold distinction. I can sort of see that there's some murkiness in some of the sort of bokeh in the background that I'm not fully convinced on. I feel like it needs to be absolutely perfect to be at gold distinction level, but I'm considering coming up to gold. That's about all I can add, I think.
And just a tiny thing I'd like everyone just to be aware and then make their decision on the selection and feathering, no pun intended, around some of around the background meeting the cockatoo. It's obvious to me, and as soon as something is obvious, it's starting to detract from the great composition and the handling of black. But that's holding me back.
Well, Mr. Pearl, you have a right to reply.
I'm prepared to buy Katie's interpretation. It's more detailed than mine, but my excitement with this print is that centrally placed eye and all of the information that then spins out from it. And when you follow some of the trails out, the feathers, I'm equally excited when I see the feathers on the top right-hand quadrant go outside the frame, but there's detail going left and right, even dropping down to the bottom area. I do believe it's controlled. I am not seeing the technical comment that Peter alludes to. It is black on black on black on black. There's no ifs or buts about that. But I think it's a powerful piece of communication. I encourage you to look at a gold or a gold distinction.
Thank you. Let's have a rescore, judges. Currently, it sits on 84 by majority. For some reason, Ian, your score didn't reproduce. So can you just put in your 97 again? Not at all. We get this occasional glitch. However, we were able to fix it, and we now have a score of 89 by majority. So not quite there, but one more chance at it. Excellent debating, judges. Let's go to the next print, please. I didn't tell anyone I was doing it straight away. No, so that's all right. And we have a score of 84, a silver award. Comment, Adam?
Yeah, I love how creepy but approachable he is. Love the detail. I really sort of struggle, though, with that kind of flaring or the smokiness kind of through it. It takes me away from the subject a little bit. So maybe if they could address that.
Great, thank you. And let's have the next print, please. And we have a score of 89. Silver with distinction. Round of applause. And I will take Mr. Poole's challenge on 94.
What a fabulous way to portray a tortured young man through pebble glass. The door is razor sharp. The hardware for the handle and the lock is just fabulous, and the tonality, the colour balance in that hardware is glorious. But you still keep coming back to this young man's face. He is giving emotion and expression to the camera. The photographer has caught it and captured it. I think it's a powerful piece of portraiture. The concept of the square within the square has been particularly well handled. Let's have a chat about this one.
Okay, Peter, at the other end of the scale.
Yes, I love most of those things, but when I get in there, I don't feel a tortured soul. I just don't buy the expression. I love the concept, and I think the technique is way above the execution. It's that last little bit, everything's perfect, it pulls me in, and then I'm let down. He's almost, whatever. I don't feel that last bit of torture.
Okay, Adam, you're also on 93.
I am on 93, and I'm annoyed with myself. I didn't go into gold distinction. I don't necessarily see tortured, but I do see disassociated, and I see lonely, and I see isolated. And I see that frame or window being a portrait of this gentleman's life and how he is behind glass and isolated from the rest of the world. And when he moves away from that frame or window, he will disappear. And that's the communication that I get in this image, is that he won't be remembered when he goes away. And that is really powerful communication. And I'm going to move to gold distinction because I'm fortunate enough to be able to. This is what portraiture can be.
Okay, Mr. Poole, your right of reply.
Yes, if I used tortured, I probably shouldn't have. Adam's word description is much clearer, and I'd encourage you to take that on board. The powerful nature of this is contained by the square of the glass, and then the pebble glass that breaks up the face and the portrait itself despite which we can still read enough detail for it to be a legitimate portrait. I keep pointing you back to that hardware on the bottom left-hand corner. That's crisp and it's strong and it's a signifier that points you up to his face. Now, we're in the presence here of a powerful piece of photography, well handled by a great photographic craftsperson. I'm on gold, but I'd encourage you to join Adam in gold distinction. I really would.
Okay, judges, you all have a chance to change your scores, except for you, Mr. Poole, on 94. Unanimous. 93, gold award. Excellent debate. Let's have the next print, please. I'll change you after this one. Oh, we could. We just don't have comments. Oh, I tell you now, if it's a quarter past this two to go, I'm going. I'm keeping going. What they can do to take me? I've said this is my last one. I've done this 26 times. Why do you think I've got this? And we have a score of 79. So we'll go for review, and let's have a comment from Peter Rossi on 79.
I'm not believing all of the interactions that are there. Nicely lit, nicely printed. It's that believability at the end. I think it's been handled as a professional should handle it, not award standard.
Great, thank you. Adam, if you'd like to have a break, and we welcome back Vicky Bell to our judging panel, and we'll have the next print, please. Yeah, likewise. I get gout as well, so I've got to keep hydrated. We have, by majority, 90, a gold award. Accept that score. And we will have a comment by one of the judges who scored a gold, perhaps. Who's going to be first up? Vic, quick comment, please.
It's a beautiful silhouette image of, I'm not saying the obvious, but I think it needs to be said. It's a young boy who becomes a man who then dies, and it's about a dog who outlives his owner.
Okay, thank you. Let's go to the next print, please.
Get the jump start on the thing.
What I probably should have done with that last one is gone to one of those judges who didn't go into gold. So they could have added a criticism, yeah. Anyway, I'm too fussed about it. No. Takes up too much time. Yeah, takes up far too much time. And we have a score of 79. Another print that will go for review. And a comment from Peter, please. Quick comment.
Just as a suggestion, tidying up some of the spot highlights in the background which keep taking your eye, and possibly for such a gloomy situation, maybe a stronger vignette could help the gloom, doom feeling.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Next print, please. And we have a score of 84 by majority. And it will go for review. And Vicky, you're on 84. A comment, please, just a quickie.
Perhaps just expression, maybe something a bit more kind of engaging, or at the moment it feels a little bit stagnant, that's all.
Thank you. Next print, please. And welcome back to the judging panel, Shireen Hammond. And we have a score of 78. Let's have a comment from Shireen on 78.
Sorry for taking the time. I actually think that it is, really good professional practice. I want to know what that story is. I didn't quite understand the story, so I'd love that to be made a little clearer to me.
Okay, thank you. Let's go to the next print, please. And we have a score of 83, a silver award. Squire Poole, you're on 83. A quick comment?
Yes, I enjoyed the image, I have to say. I did marvel at the Japanese kanji, both on the chest and the background, on somebody who's so obviously Negroid in appearance, seriously Negroid in appearance, and that intrigued me, but not enough to make me want to like the photo. I really, from a distance, sitting down, was immediately thinking gold, gold distinction, and when I got up there, it sort of fell away just a little bit for me.
Great, thank you. Next print, please. Katie, could I have you just for this print, please? Thank you. And the print score is 77. Thank you. And a comment from Shireen?
I actually loved the expression, and I wanted to run up there and go and give it a really good score. Sadly, the focus just feels so soft. The image feels soft, and I think if we're going to see every detail, that we need to have a lot more definition for the subject.
Great, thank you.
Serious printing.
And printing, yeah.
Okay. Thank you both. And let's have the next print, please. And we have a score of 80, a silver award. Do I have a challenge? No? All right, I'll accept the score, 80. Thank you. And we'll have a comment, though. Peter, you're on 80, please, before I change you.
Interesting, interesting message that regardless of your health or age, you can still have fun. The colour palette, excellent. I really enjoyed that part. Believability is probably the way she's holding that. It's almost feels like she's been instructed. Now, come on. I can feel too much of the photographer and not all of the subject in the message.
Thank you, Peter. And I'm actually going to give you a break. You've had an hour in the seat there. So we'll go to the next print, please, and welcome back Adam Finch. And we have a score of 74. Adam, you're on 74. Quick comment?
Yeah, I'd actually like to see a less distracting background. I think if you had a sort of simpler background, then the baby mushroom would be a little more isolated.
Great, thank you. Next print. And we have a score of 74. And Adam or Shireen, both on 74?
Yeah, I like the lighting and so forth. I just probably find where the chalk or the dust has been sort of thrown to be a bit clumped. Like it's sort of if it was a bit more across and and the print quality was lifted a little, it'd go a bit higher.
Great, thank you. And we're going to have the next print, please. And the printer scored 80, a silver award. Comment, please. Okay. Thank you, Shireen.
Look, again, it's coming down to the story for me. I actually really love this. I love the idea, the conceptual idea of it, but it needs to go further, and I need to get more of a story from it. I'm finding it confusing. Thanks.
Thank you. Next print, please. And while the judges are contemplating this next print, I'll just remind you that we're judging the portrait categories, proudly sponsored by KL. They've supported the AIPP and the APPA Awards for many, many years, so let's get out there and support them as well. And we have a score of 75. Comment from Ian, please.
Look, everything is very elegant about this photo of this one-legged girl, and she may or may not be an amputee. We don't know. We will never know. But for me, it's overlit on the face and equally probably overlit on the hand and 1 foot that we can see, or the hands and 1 foot. We need a bit more oomph in the awards, not necessarily more emotion because it's quite serene, but a little bit more grunt in the photographs to lift it up.
Great, thank you for those comments. Let's go to the next print, please. We've done all right. And we have a score of 76.
Look, if that had been printed more strongly, golly, I would have gone close to a high silver distinction. I may have even started to arm wrestle 1 or 2 people for a gold. There are a lot of beautiful design elements in there, whether the author knows that or not, but the void on the left, the baby, and those trees on the top right-hand corner are the absolute icing on the cake for me, but the printing is not humongously great.
Great, thank you. And no arm wrestling. You're not in condition to do that. Okay, let's have the next print, please. That's right. So I've got a 78, 79 and an 80 in that order as they're being judged. No, that's not nowhere near that good. It's not that. Oh, okay. Come on, Vic. And we have a score of 85, silver with distinction. Very close cropping in those scores, and we're going to have a comment from Ian. Thank you.
The colour palette's not to my personal liking, but I did get intrigued by the photo, I have to tell you. I do wonder if you'd fiddled with other styles of contrast and lighting, whether you may not have got a stronger photo. I don't know. It's a possibility.
Okay, thank you. Next print, please. Well, thank you, said 5 past. Yeah, I said whether we could get it done by 1. Yeah, that's true. And we have a score of 84 by majority. And that print will go for review, and we'll have a comment from Adam. Thank you.
Yeah, love the narrative. I just sort of find that dried earth to be a bit too overpowering for the overall image.
Okay. Thank you very much, judges. And next print. Whoa ho ho. We have now concluded judging the portrait category. Judges, we will be doing reviews. It is currently 1:02. I would like you back here in 5 minutes at 1:07 for reviews. Okay?
And all 7 judges, just in case there's conflict. So all of you be back in 5 minutes.
Okay. That's right. And while I have your attention, I'm just going to give another plug to our sponsors, particularly Olympus, Aon Insurance and Panasonic as our platinum sponsors of APPA and the AIPP. So they've been great supporters of the AIPP. Let's get out there and support them as well. Thank you all. And for those of you out there on live streaming, we're just having a slight 5-minute pause before we go into reviews. So we won't be long. Thank you. Good news is Judge was Vic and Vic. Okay.
They're not back in 7 parts.
Okay. What's happening is we've been given small prints. I haven't. Okay.
Yeah.
So put the reviews down. And Vicky, can I get you back up to your regular seat? We'll take some prints coming up.
I think the other room's got new to go, so they're going to give us a few extra to judge.
No, it's just too slow getting up. Good. She's probably going to carry the I've done all that. Okay, what I'll do, I might get him to talk. Okay, I've just done it a little while ago. Okay. Yep, no worries. Okay. Just a little Apologies, judges. We had some extra prints coming into this room. They've now been taken into another room. So we now do have a slight delay because those prints will need to be judged before we can do the review. So what we're going to do is just have one of the sponsors, the KL sponsor, come in and just have a little chat. So just bear with us for a few moments, please. Don't press next.
So you're waiting so I can have a chat?
Yeah, go for it. You want to sit here?
Yeah. No, drinking coffee. Hi guys, you just got a couple of minutes before we can go into reviews, but I just thought I'd share and remind everybody, KL and particularly Canson, or KL in partnership with Canson, are the sponsor of this category, but KL and Canson also offer a special prize for some of our entrants, where if they print on Canson paper when they enter, they automatically go into the draw to win an amazing trip to Queenstown in New Zealand next year. I think we've already had one drawn already. So they've got to enter wedding, portrait, landscape, illustrative and travel. So we've already had someone from the travel category yesterday that won, as long as they print their entry on a piece of Canson Infinity inkjet coated paper. And then, you can go to AIPPAPPA.com/trade-show/CansonKL if you wanted to enter. Too late. But you could do it next year. So just a special thank you, shout out to Canson KL who are sponsoring this category, but also for that amazing opportunity for all our entrants. I've been lucky enough to be on a couple of those, and I'll be the instructor in Queenstown on this one, along with some bloke called Eastway. So there you go. I don't know, some hack. Peter, Grandmaster Peter Eastway, only person to have won the Australian title twice. So we won't be long, and we'll go into reviews for this category. Who's sitting waiting on reviews? Who's standing waiting on reviews? Laurie. Awesome. Who needs 1 point to get the next ribbon or the next bar? Really? 1 point? Anybody? 2 points? Cool. All right. Well, good luck with that. Have you enjoyed the judging? Yeah? Cool. These guys behaved themselves? Did you all learn something today? Yeah, what did you learn today? Adam, he has a very strange sense of humour, actually. It's one of the best. It's one of the best. So we'll be back here in probably a couple of minutes. Dave will take you through the review process, and then we'll have a lunch break, and after lunch we come back and do portrait, we do newborn, portrait of little babies, of little ones. Is that right? Between under 12 weeks of age. Anybody got a baby? Yeah, I've got a baby. All right. Be patient. They're coming.
Welcome back, everybody, all our audience and our listeners out there in live streaming land. We are now going to be doing some reviews in room 2 for the portrait category. So I'll invite our judges to stand up and we will call our first print, please. And this print has scored a 79. Is it worthy of a silver award? 3 yeses. It has a silver award. Round of applause. Next print, please. Another 79. Will it go up to 80? 3 green, 4 green. That's a yes. It's now a silver award. Next print, please. Now, this print has scored 89, silver with distinction. Does it go up to gold? Drum roll. 1, 2, 3, 4 yeses. It is a gold award. This next print, please. This print has scored 79. Does it go up to silver? And it remains at 79. Next print, please. This print has also scored 79. Shall it go up to a silver award? Four green lights. It is now a silver award. Round of applause, please. Next print, please. Hang on. Just go back a moment. We just have it. Take that print away. I just got to check. It's not the one on my screen. I think so. One moment, please, judges. Okay, judges, what we just a little bit quick, and we've actually skipped a print, so we will bring it back in at the end, okay? So, deep breath, concentration. Let's have the next print, please. This print has scored 84. Is it silver distinction worthy? 5 green lights. Silver with distinction. Next print, please. This print has scored 79. Will it go up to silver? Bom bom. Sorry about that. It remains at 79. Next print, please. This print has scored 79. Will it go up to silver? Yes, it will. Silver award. Round of applause. Next print, please. This print has scored a 79. Will it go up? Yes, it does. 80. Silver award. Next print, please. This print has also scored 79. We're looking for a silver. Yes or no? No, remains at 79. Next print, please. This print has scored 84. Will it go up to 85? Silver with distinction. And we have 3 out of 5. That's a silver with distinction. Round of applause. Next print, please. Another 84. Will it go up to 85? And we have 3 green lights. 85 silver with distinction. Next print, please. This print has scored 79. Looking for a silver award. And we found one. Silver award. Round of applause. Next print, please. This print has scored 79. Does it go up to silver? And it remains at 79. Next print, please. Another 79. Does it gain that extra point? And it remains at 79. Next print, please. This print has scored 79. And it remains at 79. Thank you. Next print, please. This print has scored 84. Does it go up to silver with distinction? And remains at 84. Thank you. And next print, please. 79. Is it worthy of a silver award? Four out of 5. Silver award. Round of applause. Next print, please. Now, I believe this was a 79. I just need to, this is the one that we missed before. Yeah. One moment, judges, just check the back. Okay. This print has scored 79. Is it a silver award? 4 out of 5. It is now a silver award. Thank you very much. Round of applause. Thank you, judges. Thank you, audience. Thank you, all our listeners out there. Thank you to all the hard workers out the back and my staff here. And we'll have a lunch break and we'll be back in this room at 2:30 for 2:15 for the newborn category. Signing off. Right. What, I'm next to or next one?